Welcome back to another video, and today we're in the Nissan Juke and we're going to be diagnosing a insufficient handbrake. So we have got resistance there, which is not necessarily a good or a bad sign, but at least it's going to point us in the right direction. I don't think there's a snapped cable going off the feel of it. So let's have a look what's going on. I've already got it jacked up and in the air. Not started stripping it yet. And on these we've got a inboard shoe system. So in here is essentially a drum brake, and the foot brake runs off the caliper. There's no point in trying to adjust it through the peephole. Let's just get it stripped down, see what's going on with it. Discs are alright. Pads not far off metal to metal on the inner. Got about 4mm on the outer. Whenever anything goes wrong with these, it's pads, discs and shoes, because you can't really do one without the other. Let's just hope the backing plate isn't rusted through. Well, we start off by pushing that piston back, because it's a lot easier when the caliper's on the car. Next, we've got 219s for the carrier. Let's see what we've got going on then. So with both sides stripped down, it looks like the handbrake is fine on this side, but we've got a sticky pin. I can clean that up. Where the shoes sit on the back plate, we're fine. We've not rusted through on this side at all. So this side just needs a clean up. I'm going to rust remedy the back plate, and I'm going to put some grease where the shoes contact the back plate, and we should be okay on this side then. This side, slightly different story. So they both should have a shroud for the disc. That's gone. The back plate is rusted through, and the shoe is getting caught up in that hole. So instead of coming out, it's getting stuck in that hole and kicking out when you pull the handbrake. So I have got a new used back plate here. So just come to see if I can find some backing plates and get some other odds and ends. But we've got to get to the car first. There it is. This looks like a common theme. And someone's already took the carrier bolts. Found a couple of cash guys, not having much luck at all here. This one's got no hubs. Carrier's been chopped off this one. Okay, so I've managed to get one, but I don't think that's going to be any good to me, because I've had to mash the wheel bearing to get that out of it. What a stupid design that is. That's all one piece. But to do that, you've got to knock the bearing out and put it in there. And the bearings are £200, and I don't really trust a scrapyard bearing because it's not a quick, easy job. I'll have to box it all back up and take it for a road test and see if the light comes on. So my plan to remedy this side, strip all the shoes off, and I'm going to chop this out and I'm going to weld it in. So I'm just going to chop that corner off, weld it into here. We don't need the shroud for the disc anyway. So I've got this back plate chopped out now. Here's what we've removed. That's nice fresh steel, that we'll get a weld on that. Nice and thick. So here's the replacement back plate. Just gonna put that on here, trace around it, chop it out, and away we go. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. I got this bang on, near enough first time. I just had to do a little bit of trimming on that corner. So I think this is going to work out quite nicely. Chop that down to size now. Perfect. Once it's got a weld on and some rust treatment, you'll never know. So was it worth spending a tenner on this? I'd say so, because it's going to save me paying out for the bearing. All prepped and ready to go. Let's see how this turns out. I want to make sure this is right first time. Got it. Right, I'm happy with that. Let's wrap it in. So that's it, all welded in and ground down. Can't really get any more than that, but I've test fitted the shoe and the shoe fits perfectly. So all I'm going to do now is hit this with a bit of rust converter and then I can throw it back together. So I'm going to do the inside and the outside of the whole backing plate. Just like so. That's it now, fully coated. I'm gonna let that dry, let it do its thing, and then put it back together. Here we have it. Finally back to where we started, and we can actually start putting new brakes on it now. I reckon that's come out alright, that. That weld's solid. Rust remedied it. I've greased up the contact points. Can't do any more than that. Now it's time to get the pads and discs on and adjust the handbrake. I'll show you, because when the disc is on you can't see, so you'll have a little peephole. And it's that wheel there that you'll be adjusting. You'll be going in or out, depending on what you need. And this is only spinning so free because I have had to heat it up and free it off, and then I've oiled it. So that's what you can't see when the disc is on. Just about to start putting the new parts on now. If your discs come packed in oil, go ahead, wash them down. because the inside's going to be getting contact as well off the shoes. Next, we're setting the handbrake. There's no tension on the cable. Through this hole is the little wheel. Right, so we're all the way in. Let's start bringing it out now. Too far. Handbrake is locked on. Touch more. Bring that back. See, that's too much. I'll bring that back just a little bit. There you go. Perfect. And then, final things to do for this bloody handbrake. Stick this rubber back in. So here we are, all the bits and pieces cleaned up. Carrier filed back down to bare metal. Shims on the back of the pads greased up. Slide pins nice and clean. The rubber on the end of that was knackered, unfortunately. It's going to have to go back on without one. Rubbers are ready to go. So I'm going to put a dab of grease here, put that shim in, and then a dab of grease where the pad will go there as well. Finally, we're all back together. Both sides are on, fully adjusted up. Next, gonna go and pump that brake pedal. Coming to the end of this now. All the new parts are on, shoes are set. So with no tension on that cable, if we look down in here, you can see where two cables come together into a block through the handle, and then you've got your adjuster this end. There's the two cables coming up into that block, then goes into that one cable which runs through the handle for the handbrake. On the end of that single cable is that threaded bar. So with the handbrake down, as you can see, we've got a bit of slack there before our block pulls them two cables. What's that, about 10 mil? So we've got about 10 mil slack there. I'm going to wind this nut until all the slack is gone. So ratchet spanner on here. A little bit of tension helps so that the ratchet can keep ratcheting. So just going to do a couple of these. Put the handbrake down again. And I'm just going to keep going until it's right. That's near enough there now, to be honest. Handbrake is fully adjusted up. Still free as a bird, both sides. In here, I've oiled these to prevent them from sticking. I've wound this out. Now it's still nice and free. This is where people go wrong. They just wind this up until the handbrake works, and it doesn't work like that. So, we're nice and free here. Handbrake is off. The second you lift this handbrake, there you go, tension straight away on them cables. One click. There you go, nice and tight. So there's no play in that. That's how it should be. Let's try one click. There you go, that's a little bit tighter. 2 clicks. Solid. So I'm going to box it all back together, figure out a way to get this on here because the handbrake doesn't come up as much anymore, and I'll show you the handbrake in action. Okay, so with the car fully boxed back up, let's see how it performs. Okay, so I'm just going to try and drive off with the handbrake on. I'm happy with that. Once these brakes bed in as well, it'll be a little bit better. But if you ask me, I'd say that's another problem on this car been ticked off the list. So if you liked the video, go ahead, leave a like, don't forget to comment, and make sure to subscribe so I can catch you in the next